Hello there, and welcome to the weekly Asylum and Immigration Reform Update, where I share with you 5 recent stories of interest to asylum seekers and those who want to stay current on immigration news. This week, we're discussing
the Biden administration has expanded a program that schedules asylum seekers processing at the southern border, allowing up to 522,000 spots per year, despite criticism that it promotes illegal immigration. As part of the plan to expedite asylum screenings at Border Patrol facilities, legal representation for migrants has been limited, leading to a drop in the proportion of people passing the screenings and a lawsuit challenging the process. A second bus carrying asylum seekers from Texas, part of a political plan by Texas Governor Greg Abbott, arrived in Los Angeles, where the migrants received support from local faith and immigrant rights groups. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has invalidated certain out-of-state driver's licenses in Florida, requiring proof of lawful presence in the U.S., a move criticized as an anti-immigrant tactic meant to appeal to conservative voters. The U.S. Supreme Court will hear a case regarding the requirements for notices that immigrants without permanent legal status receive prior to deportation proceedings, focusing specifically on the need to specify the date and time of court proceedings.
I'm Brian Manning, and I used to be an asylum officer with the government, but now, as an asylum lawyer, I help immigrants all over the country to secure their future in America through asylum. It's my pleasure to bring you asylum and immigration reform updates each week, right here on the Political Asylum Lawyers YouTube channel. Okay, let's get to the news. First up,
the Biden administration is expanding the program through which asylum seekers can schedule an appointment for processing at the southern border, allowing up to 522,000 spots per year. This follows the increase of daily appointments via the CBP One app from 1,000 to 1,450. Some have criticized the program, calling it a concierge service for migrants, and arguing it encourages illegal immigration. The Biden administration, for its part, says the program helps the United States comply in an orderly way with U.S. law and its international obligations concerning humanitarian protection for people seeking refuge from persecution. The state of Texas sued the federal government for allegedly illegally pre-approving foreigners' entry. For now, at least, the program continues and is indeed expanding.
And next up, for update number 2.
The government is moving quickly to process asylum seekers at the border, raising concerns over due process rights. As part of the Biden administration's plan to expedite asylum screenings at Border Patrol facilities as part of what's known as the credible fear process, migrants were assured access to legal counsel. However, this promise appears unfulfilled, as only an estimated 100 migrants have secured formal representation, and few hundred received informal advice over phone calls. Law firm Jones Day, one of the largest law firms in the country, partnered with the Biden administration to offer free legal advice, but the reach remains limited. The proportion of people passing the asylum screenings fell to 52% in May, down from 77% in March, amid the fast-track process. A lawsuit seeks to end screenings in Border Patrol custody, arguing among other things that the limited time for migrants to find attorneys deprives them of their rights. The lack of attorney access at these facilities is being deemed troubling and disappointing.
All right, time for our third immigration update.
Texas is continuing to play politics with asylum seekers. A second bus carrying asylum seekers from a Texas border city arrived in downtown Los Angeles on July 2nd, less than 3 weeks after the first bus carrying migrants arrived on June 14th. The asylum seekers on the second bus came from Cuba, Belize, Colombia, El Salvador, Guatemala, Mexico, Nicaragua, and Venezuela. They were welcomed by a collective of faith and immigrant rights groups and received water, food, clothing, and initial legal assistance at a local church. The buses are part of a plan instituted by Texas Governor Greg Abbott to send migrants to Democrat-run cities to make a political statement. Since April 2022, Texas has sent more than 22,000 migrants to Washington, D.C., New York, Chicago, Philadelphia, Denver, and Los Angeles.
And moving right along, update number 4.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis announced a list of out-of-state driver's licenses that are no longer valid in Florida due to Senate Bill 1718, which prohibits the issuance of a driver's license to anyone who does not provide proof of lawful presence in the United States and specifies that out-of-state driver licenses issued exclusively to illegal aliens are invalid in Florida. The list includes driver's licenses from Delaware, Connecticut, Hawaii, Rhode Island, and Vermont. Authorities have said that the Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles will strictly enforce the law, which is supposedly aimed at enhancing homeland security and interdicting criminal activity, but which is being roundly criticized as an anti-immigrant spectacle meant to score political points with conservatives as DeSantis runs for president.
And finally, our fifth immigration update for this week.
The U.S. Supreme Court has agreed to hear a case next term that concerns the requirements for notices that immigrants lacking permanent legal status are due before they can be deported for not appearing in court. The issue of notification has been before the Supreme Court previously, and the justices will now weigh in on whether a notice to appear must specify when removal proceedings are to be held. The case involves a Salvadoran man who was ordered deported for failing to appear in immigration court, and who argues that the deportation order is inappropriate because the notice to appear in his case did not contain the date or time of his court proceedings. The case has split the lower appellate courts, with different conclusions on the notice requirements.
And that wraps up this week's immigration news. If you want to win asylum in the United States, then you should call my office today. That number is 713-352-1593. We help people all over the country, so it doesn't matter where you are. Call us now to schedule an asylum strategy session so that we can help you secure your future in America through asylum. Again, I'm Brian Manning, and it's an honor to serve you in your immigration journey.